Abby is at this time in her life where she's truly wondering, is she an a-hole or not? And I think we should take a vote on it.
At the end of this, like whether this is the X Factor, everyone turn around, send in their votes. We can, you know what? Why not just bring it to the Facebook page, because we're going to get one answer and one answer only, and it's going to be a-hole. Right. So I'm a little nervous to talk about this because I was kind of feeling some type of way about myself over the weekend.
Oh, these are the best stories.
Oh, stop! No, I'm like cringing at myself already. You know when you ruminate on something over and over again, that it becomes a bigger deal in your mind than it actually is.
And you wake up in the middle of the night, you start thinking about it, you feel the nerves, and you can't get back to sleep.
It's the worst. So for me, while confrontation isn't always a comfortable thing, it can make life comfortable moving forward. And there might be somebody in this room that I have to apologize to after two things happened to me back to back this week. And that made me think, I'm either the world's worst human, which is what my anxiety tells me, or I'm losing my memory early.
Can two things be true, as Kristen says over and over again?
No, this is the internet. So this is media. So we're going to take a polarizing approach here. So I'm either a terrible human that needs to spend years in therapy, or I need, or I'm just a good person and I'm losing my memory and I'm not at fault here. So over the weekend, I had two major events to go to. And the first was this Christmas party that I went to last year. My friend hosts it every year. She does an incredible job, hosts it at her apartment. She bakes. She's Greek, so she always has these delicious Greek desserts. She made cinnamon rolls this year. I was so excited to go. And last year was a really overwhelming first time for me to go to this party. I went alone. I was getting my surgery a couple weeks later, so I had to go sober. And so I remember just feeling so anxious about coming around the next time, because I'm like, okay, I know I'm showing up by myself again, but like this time I can have a nice little beverage, so it'll be a good time. So I show up to her apartment. I'm like the first one there because I thought I was going to have to interview Timothy Chevrolet, and then I didn't have to. So I end up getting to stay at this party. So I'm sitting at the island. I'm having a cinnamon roll. I'm having a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. I'm having a good time. And then slowly, because I'm one of the first people there, people just start rolling in. And about 15 minutes in, somebody rolls in and I introduce myself. I'm like, it's so nice to meet you. And this person goes, oh, we met last year at the party. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, we did? Oh, my God. It's great to see you again.
Yeah.
And they sit down.
It happens.
And then...
daily?
Yeah.
Happens to me all the time,
yes.
too.
I'll straight up tell people, man, I am really, really bad with names. I'm good at remembering faces, but names, forget it.
Well, it gets worse. So then that happens again. 30 minutes later, somebody else rolls in with their girlfriend, and I introduce myself. I'm like, it's so nice to meet you. And they're like, we met last year. I'm like, oh my God, we did. And that happened a couple of times. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I just have the worst memory? Am I like a bad person? Like, am I a bad person for not remembering these folks?
No, you're just a bad person for saying nice to meet you. You have to say, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you. Okay.
Good to see you.
But then this is where it gets worse. So that passes, I'm probably never going to see these people again. So I take like a mental picture in my mind. So I'm like, when I go next year, I'm like, I'm not messing this up again. I will remember them this time next year. But the next day, we all chose to go to Cassie's house to bring some frivolity to her Christmas, because obviously life's a little rough. So we all show up, and this is just a staff event. So it's all the people on the Bert Show, and, we're putting together the lights, and we're putting the little gingerbread man in the backyard, and it's a good time. And then all of a sudden I look across the yard and I go to Rebecca, I'm like, who is that woman? And Rebecca goes, that's Mo's girlfriend. And I'm like, how did I not recognize Mo's girlfriend? And I'm thinking back, I'm like, how many times have I met Mo's girlfriend? I'm like, okay, I've only met her once. Isn't it bad? I'm like, are you sure? Are we sure that's Mo's girlfriend? And Rebecca's like, I'm 100% positive. Why else would she be here at a Bert Show staff event only? So Mo, I'm so sorry.
Yep.
When I saw your girlfriend, I had no idea who that woman was. I was like, who is she? Why is she here?
Were you about to go up and be like, are you a new intern for the Bert Show?
I was like, does she work for Bert's Big Adventure?
That explains it.
Why?
Because she mentioned it.
She did it. She didn't notice it. But how did she go, Abby's kind of rude, huh?
No, she didn't say it like that. She was just like, I'm not certain that like Abby remembered me. And I was like, of course.
Funny.
I was like, of course Abby remembers you. What are you talking about? And she was just like, her energy toward me was just very different. Like, did I do something? And I'm